Hello, everybody, and welcome to the debrief. Geo, how was oneself?
I am good. I enjoyed yesterday, the second half obviously, but I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed my day. So minus the first half, it was really good. Played some good stuff in the second half. Scored 3 goals. George Earthy got his goal, and I quite liked the small touches of class from the West Ham fans yesterday. Actually, when Reece Burke went off, he got a round of applause. I mean,
Mm.
it wasn't a standing ovation, but it was a round of applause from all four curves of the ground. And then after the game, the Luton players were maybe on the pitch for about 15 minutes after full time with the Luton fans. And the Luton fans were just singing their hearts out for 15 minutes non-stop, and they were there, and they were just
Mm.
taking their time, and one by one they were going up to the way end, throwing their shirts in the crowd. And occasionally the West Ham fans would applaud the Luton fans because basically there was music on for a little while. Then they turned the music off, and as soon as they turned the music off, all you could hear was just Luton, really loud Luton fans. So all the West Ham fans started clapping, and then as the Luton players went off again, all the West Ham, I say all, the most West Ham fans applauded the Luton players, and the Luton players and Rob Edwards was applauding the West Ham fans as well. And it's nice actually because there was a little bit of me that's just sat there, and I thought I've been moaning non-stop all season, and this we've just relegated this lot essentially.
Mm.
But yeah, it was nice. It was a nice just touch of class on the day. I felt.
Yeah, when I saw a video going around on yesterday on Twitter of the West Ham fans clapping the Luton players as they went off and stuff, I was very happy about that because
Yeah.
someone in the live chat watching on was like, "Would you take a loss today if it meant Luton staying up?" And I was like, "Well, obviously not. I always want West Ham to win,
Yeah.
but like I do genuinely want them to stay up, and it's not done, but it's done now, unfortunately for them. And it's nice because they're one of the clubs that's gone around it the right way. And I think I was thinking about this yesterday with Reece Burke, right? How many years ago since he left? Probably six. I think it's 2017,
Well,
18, something like
it was Allardyce time, which was 2015, 14, 15 was Allardyce's last season. So I don't know if it was here for his last season under Allardyce, or I don't recall him being here under Slav.
because he went out on loan a bunch, didn't he? But he was
Yeah,
playing under Allardyce.
yeah, because I remember him playing a few games. For some reason, I haven't. I should look up really, but I'm sure it was QPR away he played. I don't know why. I've got QPR away in my head that he played and
Sure.
struggled with under Allardyce. I think that might have been the game when Charlie Austin scored a couple after David Sullivan said the man's got no knees. He's got no ligaments in his knees, and I think Austin
Mm,
scored a couple of goals. But so that would have been
that sounds right.
2015, so 9 years ago maybe.
Crazy. It doesn't. I don't like it, Joe. I don't like it. I don't
Makes
like
you
it.
feel old, doesn't it?
It,
I thought he did all right. He lost his head a little bit, Burke, yesterday, but I think he's done all right in the Premier League. To be fair, it's nice to see sort of former academy players. I don't. Part of me, when do you know when like they leave, despite us trying. Now we can all say whether the club have done enough or not, but let's just take Sonny Perkins and Harrison Ashby, where the club have said, "Here's a
mm,
contract, please sign." They go, "No, I'm off." I'm not too bothered how they go on and perform. A little bit of me like them to do well, but the ones that I feel don't get a fair crack or we don't do enough for, like Reece Burke and Josh Cullen, I really hope they go on and have a really good career. And I like them to. I want them to prove us wrong. I do. I think go on, go. Just show West Ham that we've made a mistake with you.
mm.
And if Divine Mubama leaves this summer, I'd be thinking, go do it. Go somewhere, get your football, get your minutes, get your goals, get back into the Premier League. And I hope you show the club they've made a mistake. Because I find myself becoming supporters of players that have come through the academy at West Ham. Not all of them, like I said, the ones that turn their back on the club. Not so much those ones, but the ones that I feel like give their all, but perhaps don't get an opportunity. Like Elise, for example, I'm like, go on,
Yeah.
go do it, go do it, go do it. And so it was nice to see Burke in the Premier League, and it was nice to see him getting a clap from a lot of the West Ham fans yesterday when he got subbed off as well. And he went off behind the goal and walked round. So I don't know what they were doing over that end. I just assume they were clapping him as he walked back as well, which it must be nice for him.
Yeah, yeah, it's big Stanislas vibes, Guy who just sort of like went off and then came back in the Premier League at some point. It's good. I feel exactly the same. I mean, what was it like yesterday in general? Because there was a lot of talk from the commentators about the lack of a shocking lack of atmosphere, especially in the first half. Which,
But
to be
can you
fair,
blame
is
anyone?
no, but I don't remember what it was like before before kickoff.
Um,
In that opening stages, you know what it's like, Gio. It's a Saturday 3 p.m. kickoff, which means it's very difficult to be able to watch the game, and so I wasn't able to fully appreciate the
Um,
beginning of the match in the way it
I
would.
I got in.
By 20 minutes, 30 minutes, no, not necessarily.
I
But
got in a little bit just before kickoff because I was on the lookout for someone that I would consider a legend of West Ham.
is it
And
me?
not you. I'm just trying to
Oh,
see. Hang on, let me get 1 second. Yeah, there's a clue on my shelf there. There's a clue there. One of those needed a program from the game yesterday because he wasn't attending, and I said I'd get him one and
right.
send it to him. And I couldn't find one for love nor money, but luckily Stephen, who does the player ratings, collects all the player ratings on pitch, and he said I've got a couple for you. But anyway, so I was looking around the bond stand for a bloody program. They're all sold out on that side. So I got in just for a kickoff. Now the truth is, Charlie, on the boats, and the boats were busy yesterday, food sold out and stuff. Nobody was talking about the game.
Sure.
It was all everyone was talking about the manager and a bit about Ben Johnson, etc., etc. But nobody was. The lineup come out. We all went, "Oh, no Alvarez. What's he doing? Why are we playing this? Why is he not playing youngsters?" It was a 5 minute grumble. That was it. And most people were saying, "Well, I don't want Luton to go down." So it was almost like pre-season friendly vibes about it going into the game. And to be honest with you, I thought we played with pre-season friendly vibes. Do you know something? At one point, I was sitting there and I had a bit of a joke in my head for the video last night. I thought, I know what I'm going to say. I'm going to, if we get beat by Luton, I'm going to say I thought Creswell wasn't getting a testimonial, but we just played in one for him. But anyway, yeah, before Bubbles was really loud before kickoff as usual. I thought it was louder than normal, and I thought the stadium was really full, whereas some games this season, you look around and there's plenty of empty seats kicking about. Didn't really feel like that yesterday. It felt like a big turnout, actually. We always sell 100% of tickets. So when the club say 99.9% attendance, it's not attendance, it's tickets sold, different. Usually there's 10,000 people don't turn up per game. You can find this out from the Freedom of Information request. But yesterday, I do feel like the attendance was high, like it was busy, which was good. But the first half, it was just boring, Charlie, and the atmosphere died down pretty quickly. And I don't know which group it is, if there's a certain group of fans that's now emerged in 125. It's beside the away fans, behind the booking side. Now, they've always been standing up and singing, but it felt like they were really singing yesterday, that people down there. It was quite good, actually. But the second half, I thought the atmosphere was good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, second half became a very different kettle of fish. I think the first half in general was just I don't know whether or not we were. I think it was very clear that they were there to be got at. That high turnovers were something that were very, very possible, and that they weren't really as comfortable passing out from the back as we would maybe have let them be in for a long period of time. And if we had just gone for it a bit, then maybe we would have been able to sort of get in and score earlier. And I don't know whether that was just because of having Kurt Zuma and Ogbonna at the back, who are just who are well, it says on FIFA Geo that they're centre backs, but when I watch football in real life, I don't seem to see that come up. It don't happen. So I don't know whether it was just that there was a scaredness of like, well, if we do go for it, we do try to nip in on them, and then they get around us, then we're going to expose Kurt Zuma and Ogbonna to running, which is the worst thing they could do. Let alone, I mean, they're bad enough when they're sat deep, let alone when they're trying to run. But the second half, I mean, it was very. The whole game was just very Moyes. It was just very, very Moyes. In that we did have this sort of like drab, horrendous first half, and in second half we came out. The players looked like they had a completely different attitude, and we just sort of went, "No, actually, we are better than this team, and we're just gonna prove it now. We're just gonna have them." And it ended up being quite nice. And actually, I mean, listen, there are many things about yesterday that are maybe notable, but the thing that is obvious is George Earthy. Where is it? Stuart says, "Glad I was there yesterday. Whatever happens to George Earthy's career, to be there for his first senior goal was something special." I mean, like, I went back and watched it on a watch along because I couldn't remember exactly what I said at the time. I knew I said something stupid, but the moment where there's a moment after he scores where they do the Kudus celebration together. Kurt Zuma like takes a fake photo of him, And then it feels like every single player goes over and hugs him, apart from
Yeah.
Ariona, I guess. Like they all go over and hug him, and I was just so happy in the moment. I think I just went, football's good, isn't it? Football's good,
At
and it was
full time,
that was the moment where I was like, oh, okay, it's good now, it's good.
at full time, as soon as the whistle went, Casey was obviously on the pitch. He ran straight to Earthy and started like hugging Earthy. And
Yeah,
Mubama came running on and went straight to Earthy as well. It was quite nice to see the under 21s players sort of, especially Mubama, who understandably perhaps would be disappointed with his lack of opportunities this season. So he might have a bit of bad feeling towards whether it be Moyes or the club. He's probably off in this summer out of contract. But to see him sort of, I don't know, just put his friendship above anything that's going on with him personally, it's really nice, because we've always seen and heard that the under 18s and under 21s are a tight bunch. You know, we interviewed Mark Phillips not long ago on Patreon, who's had a big hand in these player developments, and he's said that they are really close. And when you watch them at half time doing the warm ups, they go in their own little three. Earthy, Mubama, and Casey were just warming up on their own. And then you had the English three of Ings, Creswell, and Johnson. And then you had the other two, which was Kearney and Alvarez, warming up together. So they do look quite tight knitted, actually. It was nice. It was, like I said, I did the forum video yesterday. I said, this is one of those goals. It reminds me of Rice's first goal against Arsenal.
yeah,
Carroll's bicycle kick against Palace, Dimi's solo run against Borough, Antonio's goal where Dimi did a Rabona to set him up. It's just one of them. It's like, I'm glad I was there for that moment. And it makes it all worthwhile. It makes going yesterday worthwhile, because you saw Earthy's goal, and he could be a bit special, this kid. It could be a bit special. So fingers crossed. But he's West Ham fan, West Ham family, and nobody can take that away from him now. He's done it. He scored in a game, and also we won the game. So it's not like it's a consolation goal and a 4-1 defeat or something like that. He can actually be quite happy with the game he scored into. It was just a nice occasion. Scoring in front of the Bobby Moore stand must be fantastic.
yeah. Like it was one of those moments where obviously I I wasn't necessarily shocked that he didn't end up starting someone like Casey, for example, as opposed to Zuma and Ogbonna. It was something that I would have been tempted to do if I were him, but I wasn't surprised necessarily that it didn't happen. But I am glad that him and Casey, and I would have liked to have seen Mubama as opposed to Danny Ings, but I'm glad that those moments got to happen. Similarly to I'm glad with the moment for Ogbonna as well. Like it's one of those things that I think is good, you know, being able to, yeah, exactly. It's one of those things where I'm glad he managed to get his moment to come off and get a clap, and he looked genuinely emotional. It looked like he is off. I mean, I know, I think there was those reports that he maybe got offered a contract extension or whatever, but I mean, by the way he walked off the pitch, that's Ogbonna done. And what a man! What a like you don't him and Cresswell. I mean, it's not that often you get players sticking around for 10 years like that. In the Premier League, it's just not. I mean, I think Cresswell is the 10th longest serving player in the Premier League, but that includes players who have come up with teams from different divisions and stuff. It just Premier League the entire time to be able to do it since 2013. I think we signed Cresswell. I mean, that's huge, and
14,
I'm glad Ogbonna
10
got his
years.
moment.
He's been here 10 years now.
Was it 14? For some reason in my head he signed 13.
Yeah, it's 10 years. This was meant to be his testimonial season.
Of course it was. Yeah. Yeah, of course it was. But yeah, I'm just glad he got that moment, because what, like, again, his legs have completely gone. Do I ever want to see him at centre back again? Yeah, probably not. But what a man! What a man!
Yeah, it was nice. Like Cameron 99 said, it was nice for him to get his standing ovation. I was a bit sad for Creswell because he didn't get one. You know, he came on for a few minutes. You can't really give one coming on to the pitch. It's hard to give a standing ovation because it looks like you're applauding one going off rather than one coming on.
Yeah.
And then when they did the lap of one at the end, Creswell was, to be fair, most of the players didn't look bothered. Most of them were just walked without clapping, and they weren't that harsh. There was some, like Bowen was at the front of it, applauding all the way around. Sufal was at the back, applauding all the way around and stuff. And Paqueta was applauding the whole time, but like Kudus didn't really applaud the crowd at all. However, I do feel you do get a reminder now and again that some players are alone. And I'm not saying he's got no friends. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying he's got no family over here, because the players obviously take their kids out onto the pitch on the last home game. He doesn't have a child. And then when they did the lap of honour, they've all got their partners and kids with them. Kudus was just on his own, didn't have his partner. There was no partner with him. There's no kids with him. And I think there was it was somebody that worked for the club walking alongside him, I think, but it wasn't like a notable coach. I don't know if it was like a fitness coach or a physio or something. Somebody was walking with him, and they were just talking as they walked round. But you do just get a reminder that you see Ward-Prowse with his kid, and his kid came running over to the corner flag on the Sir Trevor Bond stand, clapping the fans, and obviously all the fans were clapping the kid, and it was almost like the kid was like pretending he'd scored and whatever. But it was nice to see that. But you do just get a little reminder that these players are still human, and maybe not all of them are. I don't know what's the word. Well, you hear I seen an article a couple of weeks ago about Moyes, about how he works 7 till 7, and he goes back to his flat in Canary Wharf and has a ready meal because his wife's up in the family home, and then he goes and does it the next. You read that, you do. I feel bad. I think, wow, that's not nice. That is not a pleasant thing. But yesterday Creswell was just at the back playing football with his little one, and didn't really acknowledge the crowd, didn't really get a send off, and I don't know if he doesn't want one, or if he's maybe getting a contract we just don't know yet, or what. It was just a bit. I just thought the whole thing after the game yesterday, personally, I thought was underwhelming. I did think it was a bit of a palaver. Like Bowen getting his hammered of the year. It was just like they just read them all out, and it was a bit like bring him onto the middle of the pitch or something, because he deserves his standing ovation and stuff. I don't know. I just thought it was a little bit.
It was weird. I know Moyes before the game spoke about like his like the send off specifically, and he was like, yeah, I'm not really into all that, so I wouldn't expect.
He was all right. He was all right. He was with the group, but maybe 5 yards closer to the fans in the group.
Yeah.
Just on his own, and he's clapping the fans and waving to the fans I say the whole way around, just because he came past me. He was waving to the fans and clapping the fans and constantly interacting with them. And he got a big applause, Moyes, and there's a few people tried to get a rendition of his song going. Didn't quite catch on around the whole stadium, but people were singing his song yesterday as well. But he definitely got a big applause at the end, and he said at the end there was 50,000 stayed back. Now, I would challenge that number. I don't think it was 5/6 of the stadium had remained behind, but there was definitely maybe half the stadium. I think comfortably half the stadium stayed behind. But this is what I will say. This is why the club got it wrong. Between full time and the players come back out, a lot of people just left because it was incredibly boring. We were just sat there, just like waiting. It's like, here's the saves of the season. Oh yeah, great. A reminder of how crap we've been, and we needed a keeper to bail us out on numerous occasions throughout the season. Nice one. But it just dragged on. It was just, I don't know. We always do it. Every club does it, and I just think sometimes it's better off that the players go to side the pitch at full time, get their kids if they want to, and then just start the lap of honour while the stadium's pretty full, because you might find a few lingerers actually stick around for it. But the club it's too long. It was hot. People were bored. But I agree with KP. There's too many people on the pitch as well. You can hardly see the West Ham players by the end of it because some of them have changed.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, it's like it feels a bit superfluous, a little bit. Especially, and I think part of that is also because we all know we're about to go and get battered by Manchester City next week, and then the season's truly over.
It feels like the end of the season to me yesterday.
Yeah,
I kept saying it. Oh, that's it, done. I'm like, oh no, there's one more game.
It really did. It really did. Like I kept having to think about it and being like, oh Christ, we've got Manchester City next week. But after that, I mean, even towards the end of the game, like 2-1, 3-1, that is when it started to really feel like end of season vibes to me. It's like, you know.
Did you see what Spurs did?
I did not know.
So yesterday, Tottenham have got a home game on Tuesday against Man City.
Okay.
Right. I'm pretty sure it's at home. Let me just double check this before I say it, right? But this is before I tell you what's happening here. Tottenham, Tuesday night, Tottenham are at home to Man City, their last home game of the season. Yesterday, they were at home to Burnley. After the Burnley game, they did their lap of honour. So the Arsenal fans are going, hang on a minute, you've got a game on Tuesday against Man City.
You've got to respect it.
Spurs are basically saying, that's it from us. Ta-da. Thank you. Thank you very much. Cheers, guys.
It's big vibes of like when we moved to the London Stadium and our opening game was against Juventus, despite the fact we played in the European
Alley.
qualifiers against whoever it was before.
Alley.
Domzale, yeah.
Was it?
Big,
I'm trying to
but
think
our
who scored.
opening game was definitely Juventus, guys. Let's all remember that. It wasn't MK Donzale or whatever they were. MK
The
Donzale.
club messed up a little bit, didn't they? They were promoting the game. First ever game on the stadium. Oh, let's all buy tickets. Oh crap, we've got a qualifier now. Before the Juventus game. Nice one. But did you see this, by the way? Barney said Ariola's missus took to social media how pissed off she was that he didn't get Hammer of the Year. She did, but also he shared it.
Did he?
Yeah.
He looked very angry yesterday, just in general. I don't know what was going on with him yesterday, but he was pissed off a lot of the time. He always came to blows with someone from the Luton team. I can't remember who it was. I think maybe Osher, I don't remember. And then it was just a general air of angriness about Areola yesterday. I'm not sure what happened, but
I know that's why Tottenham done it. Don't worry, they will have done it so they don't have to do it at 10 p.m. and people need to get home. I do get it, but I just think it's funny that Spurs. I just think it's Spurs fans have just rattled Arsenal. Tony, we're not that bothered. We're not reading into things. Nobody's literally said anything negative here. Irony is you're the one that's picking up negative when nobody's saying anything negative. So, but anyway, Ariola's missus said, save of the season, okay, but it should have been player of the year, ... It won't be the case, and we all know why.
Why is that, Mrs. Areola?
I don't know. It's hard to...
It's hard to get a fair reading of that because I literally have no clue.
I don't get it either. You don't want to start incorrectly assuming, but is it because he's the goalkeeper? Well, that doesn't stack up because Fabianski and Rob Green have also won Hammer of the Year at West Ham, so we don't mind giving it to the goalkeeper when we feel the goalkeeper is Hammer of the Year, but it's a very strange thing.
It's a very basic answer for me. It's not like because people voted and the vote said did he come third? Maybe I don't even know. He didn't come first. I know he didn't come first or second. I read on the club website that Bowen obviously was first and then Kudus was second. So
yeah, I mean I don't think you can have much complaints about that. My first one was Bowen by a country mile, but Areola would certainly be in second or third or fourth place for me. He's had a really good season.
He'd be in the conversation, but it was Bowen for me as well. So obviously,
100%. The guy's got like 20 goals and assists, or more than 20 goals and assists. But
20 goals, 11 assists, I think.
Yeah,
10 assists maybe.
Premier League, though, it's still like big number. It's Bowen by a country mile for Hammer of the Year. So I don't know what she's. I don't know.
I'm here for it. Listen, I'm here for it. Let's start some. I want some shade in my life. Do you know what I mean? Let's start some. What I like about it, Geo, is the vagueness of it. That lets everyone read into it in a way they want, and we all know why.
And that's why I don't like it. I don't get it. Like well, what are you gonna?
Let's start some drama. You know, let's start some drama.
Yeah, I'm like, well, what is it, Ben? At least provide a little bit of clarity here. Yeah,
there we go. I don't know who's the. I don't know what the general overall is, but if it is Areola, should we make up like a fake trophy and send it to him and see if we can
send it to her?
Yeah, see if we can get a tweet or an Instagram post being like, "See, they said he was Hammer of the Year." A little bit of free promo.
At least someone appreciates him. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I don't know. I think he's not going to win Hammer of the Year either. We're going to get called out next week.
She's going to be fuming.
Because you know
Cancel a patron.
It's David Bowen by a mile again. Well, I don't know if it's by a mile. Stephen's in the live chat, but he's definitely Hammer of the Year from the player ratings, which is done organically. We rate players every game. Everybody rates players every game organically, and Stephen gets the averages throughout the season. So it's not like we've all sat there and going, It's like I have, weirdly, not an issue with it. Crystal Palace's player of the year was Mateta, right? Now, don't get me wrong. He's had a fantastic 3, 4, or 5 months post-Christmas, but what about pre-Christmas? They just ignored that part of the season. Just like when Anatovic won it when he didn't turn up till December. Zabaleta should have won that Hammer of the Year. Justice for Pablo.
No, and what we'll do is we'll put Jarrod Bowen in there, and then she'll be rattled. She'll be fuming. Yeah, Yeah, I mean, I think the game yesterday overall, I think it was a bizarre thing. It was weird choices, and then it worked out really well, and it ended up being a really really nice end. And we could all go into City and pretend it doesn't exist, uh, and then yeah, and then that's it. That's the end of Moyes' reign. Um, to some people's chagrin and to some people's joy, he'll be done. He'll be out of here. We'll be back. We'll be forward with Lopetegui. And yeah, I mean, I said this very, I won't say as long as I didn't watch wrong yesterday, but I do, I do think it is a shame that it is the end of Moyes' reign, but I think at least we got a good end. As if we can all just concentrate on that final game, as opposed to everything else that's happened. Because realistically, we've won a trophy. It's been an incredible 4 years of our incredible 4 year period for West Ham, and hopefully we can go on and try to replicate that.
Yeah, I agree. It was nice to win. It was important to win yesterday.
Yeah, I agree.
The boos were allowed at halftime, and
Yes.
had we replicated the first half and the second half, I'm not sure there'd been loads of people that stood round at full time. Because I said to people around me, they said, "Oh, you staying around?" Because some of my friends were like, "No, I'm going straight back to the boats at full time." Kind of thing. I'm not sticking around for it. And I understand why. It's okay.
Yeah.
But mine was, I intend on, but the word intend was there because if we got beat 4-0, I'm not sure it'd been like, hey, I'm going to stick around for another 20 minutes and wait. No, I'd probably also be off. So it was nice to, like I said, I enjoyed yesterday. I thought the second half was really good. Earthy scoring was fantastic. I thought he got a good send-off, Moyes. I do think he got a really good send-off. Only because the club clarified it on Monday. Had the club not clarified, I'm not sure he would have got that. But he got a big goodbye.
Yeah.
Yesterday, which is good. I like it. I felt good about the send off we gave him yesterday. It was nice to see so many people stay behind and wait. And like I said, it was a wait. And I know I keep going on about it. I was thirsty. It was hot. I sat there and it was just boring. But anyway. It was pleasing to see it because I remember when Arsene left Arsenal and he came out after the game, the stadium was pretty empty at that point. So yeah, anyway.
Yeah, and listen, it feels like the end. It feels like the end, and that's fine with me. And I think it's time to move on. We can all stop maybe trying to bite each other's head off every 5 seconds. And well, City will happen, and City will be awful. And I think we all, even the most deluded of us, feel like City is going to be one heck of a battery. So
it depends. If Man U somehow win today, then and obviously Man City win Tuesday, the league's done before next weekend. But I expect Arsenal to win. Then I expect Man City to win against Spurs, and I expect it to go to the game at the Etihad. And yeah, I think it could be done by halftime. The thing is, though, I don't think City will batter us. I think they'll have 90%, well, maybe not 78% possession, but I think it'll be 2 or 3-0. Because they don't need to get 4 or 5; they just need to win the game. So I think they'll get a couple of goals up and just keep the ball.
I guess I'm just seeing Kurt Zouma and Ogbonna standing there, and the City players coming at them, and just the fear that's going to be in my eyes and heart when that happens.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to it, but I haven't even checked the league table. Are we guaranteed top half yet? Because
yeah, I think we are. I checked it last night. I think we are.
Bournemouth a draw in the end. I know it was 0-0 at half time. Did it finish up as a draw?
Don't remember. Let me double check.
Charlie, you'll have a look at the table quickly.
Yeah, we are. We're guaranteed. Well, yeah. No, we are. Because
right, if Charlie's right, we're guaranteed top 10. Well, listen,
we're guaranteed top 10, and we could get 9th if Brighton don't win both of theirs, because they've got 2 games left. So if Brighton don't win both, I don't know who they're facing, then we could get 9th.
Yeah. Anyway, right, before we go, as Danny's saying, only 60 likes. Please drop a like on the video. Generally helps us out. Click thumbs up, please. That'll be appreciated. Subscribe to Hammer's Chat. Thank you for joining us, especially off the back of a nice game, but there wasn't any controversy. There was no VAR. We didn't get beat, nothing like that. It was quite a comfortable afternoon in the end. I was really disappointed. Not really. I was surprised how bad Luton were, actually, bearing in mind they're fighting for their lives. I thought they didn't really. I don't know, just went down with a whimper, really. But anyway, Charlie, thank you very much. I look forward to catching up with you next Monday.
Yes.
where we discuss the final day of the season. I'm looking forward to it.
I saw someone in the chat was talking about how we don't go as off topic as Gonzo. On that day, we may. We may not want to. We may not wish to talk about the match, but we will be here 9 a.m. on the Monday. So thank you all for joining. Subscribe, like, all that good stuff, and we'll see you then. Cheers, everyone. Bye.